How do you know when your creative piece you're working on, when that design that you're working on is truly finished? When is enough enough? This is the third video in our design challenge series, and I'm talking all about the finishing stages of your production, of making that piece of work and bringing your design to life. And most importantly, how you know when it's the right time to finish, when it's the right time to put down your tools and say, that's it. And assessing your work to ensure that it's telling the story of the original design that you set out to make. In our last video, I talked all about my production process as a jeweller and my top tips to make the workflow, to make your production flow as smoothly as possible. And today I'm talking all about the finishing of your designs and knowing when to finish and knowing when enough is enough, and that you've reached the end of your design and it's ready to photograph and to be put out into the world. So it may be really obvious when your work is finished, when your design is how you want it to be and it's come to life and you finish making it and you know that that's it and it's ready. But other times it might not be so obvious, especially when you're making a piece for the first time and the design is evolving as you've been making it. You may have had an initial design and you follow it loosely, but the actual piece as it comes to life may have changed slightly. And in these situations, it can be harder to know when you've finished and when you've completed your work. Should you do another mark? Should you add something more? Change it slightly? Is it the right length or the right size? Whatever. It can sometimes be hard to know when it's finished, when enough is enough. I tend to work a little bit like this as well. My work tends to evolve as I'm making it, but there does come a point where I can say, okay, this is going to be my final mark. Often if I'm engraving a design, although I've drawn it out, sometimes I might be inclined to add something more. And you do have to trust your instincts as a maker and as an artist. And you will feel in your gut, you will know when it's ready and when you're happy with that work. So if this is the way that you found yourself working, if this is the way that your work evolves and grows as you're making it, and you maybe don't have a specific design or you have a loose design, but it's come to life as you created the work, then I encourage you to really listen to your gut. Go back to your original thoughts about the initial design. What was the story behind it, behind the piece that you're making? What inspired you to make it? And think about when it feels complete to you. We hear the phrase less is more all the time, and often that is completely true. But not for everybody. Sometimes more is more. So really take the final stages of your design slowly and just go back to how you initially wanted your design to be. What was the initial feeling and that initial story? And so do go slowly in the final stages so that you can give your design space to speak to you a bit more about whether it's finished or not. That might sound a little bit woo, but I think stepping away from your design and then coming back to it, giving yourself a bit of a break before you completely finish is a really good idea. If you've got your head down just working on it, sometimes it's hard to see when the final piece is actually ready. And so really feel it in your gut and your heart about whether that piece is finished to your standards and how you want it to be. Sometimes your design, as it comes to the end of the making process and the production process, sometimes it might be very different from how you originally envisaged it. And this can be okay if it tells the story that you wanted it to tell, if it speaks to you the way you wanted it to feel, then that's entirely okay that it's different from your original design. It doesn't have to be exactly like the original design if it still makes you feel the way you wanted it to feel when you first conceived the idea and you first started designing and coming up with the idea of the final piece that you've been working on. Your style may be to have your maker's mark on the piece, to leave those imprints that speak to it being made by hand. Or it may be that your work and your style is to have a very clean and crisp finish. So whichever style you are going with, whichever finish is your style, you need to make sure that as you come to the end that you are translating that and you are showing your style and that finish in your work. The finishing, those final touches, can take just as long as the actual overall making of the piece. It may be that your piece needs to be polished or cleaned or finessed slightly, thinned out or framed. With jewellery, it needs to be sent off to be hallmarked and then come back and stone set, etc, etc. So there's all sorts of different finishings in all the different disciplines. And your final job as you're making your piece of work, as you're making your design, is to make sure that the finishing is as best as it can be, as refined as you want it to be, whether that's leaving your maker's marks on the piece, or whether it's a crisp, clean finish. It's entirely up to this, whatever style that you want your work to portray. Don't rush the finishing. Don't think, oh, I've made it, job's done, it's all good, ready to go, it's finished. Take your time in these last few steps. There's another thing that always, I think there's some kind of statistic that more accidents happen in the final parts of a journey when somebody is going home, because they're so familiar with the processes and they're so familiar with the roads that they take, they start losing concentration. I don't know the exact stats, but there's something like that. And that's when accidents are likely to happen, when you're so used to your home run, you're so used to the final steps that you take your eye off the ball a little bit. So take your time, enjoy the work that you've done and the time that you've put into it. You put a lot of love and care and thought into the design and the story behind it and the feelings that you went through when you first conceived these ideas and for this design. And so don't rush the end, don't rush this finish process. Linger longer on these final steps. Make sure that the finish is as you want it to be and it really tells the story that you set out to tell with your design originally. Often with bespoke work, there is a story and meaning that is really, really important to the client. I had one piece in particular last year, which I'll tell you a bit about. It was a bespoke necklace and a piece of jewellery that spoke to the client's fertility journey and the journey that they went through for having their first child. And so there was so much meaning, and it was so important to make sure that the elements that we had talked about in our meeting were really showing through, and this feeling and emotion was being carried through in the piece of work. The gemstones that we used had such significance to their journey, from the birth of their child to kind of eggs that hadn't fertilized, and their complete journey. And it was such an emotional piece to make, to have designed from them. And I really felt that emotion and the importance when I was making the piece and designing the piece as well. And I really wanted to show that in the end piece, to make sure that it was communicating all that emotion and all that importance that it held for my client. So really what I'm saying is to take your time and step back and look at your piece of work and assess it as you're going through this finishing journey. Assess it to see if it's telling the story of what you set out to tell. Now, not all of your work is going to have this big emotional journey to it, but because in this design challenge we've been looking at challenging ourselves with a new design or a new skill, we wanted to really create a story behind a piece of work. In the first week, you were looking at finding inspiration and designing your piece. So as we come to the final stages of the production process, really think back to what led you to design the piece that you've been working on. Obviously, for some of your pieces, as I said, you're not going to have this. You're going to be able to work quicker with collection pieces where it's not a one-off. But this design challenge has been for a one-off piece, something new, something different, which is why I really want you to connect back with those initial feelings that you had with the design. You also want to make sure that you're carrying out a quality check on the piece as well. Will it withstand 100 years of use if it's something that's going to be an heirloom piece of work? If it's going to be something that's a consumable piece of work or something that's used daily, it may not last 100 years. We have had beautiful handmade mugs that we use daily. Unfortunately, we also have hard floors, so they don't always last as long as I would like them to, and they certainly won't last 100 years. But if it is a piece of work that is going to be handed down, it's going to represent part of that person's story, then is it going to stand the test of time? Does it have those qualities that you want it to have in your piece? If it's something that doesn't need to necessarily stand the test of time, it just needs to last a good amount of time, then maybe the finessing is all in that final presentation. It's all in that final packaging, and this is part of the finishing as well. So you may have your packaging, and I will talk more about packaging another day, but it does need to be considered in the overall use of your work, in this overall quality checking. You want to make sure that it's going to last. If it's going to be worn, will it withstand the wear over time? If it needs special care taken by the owner, if you have special instructions for its use, make sure that in your workflow, these final stages, that you have details of care instructions that go with the piece when you come to sell it. So these are all things to consider as well. As a maker or artist, I think we do follow our guts and our hearts and our intuition very closely when we're making a piece. And this, I believe, is your gift. This is something that we are lucky to be able to do, and to enjoy this process of really feeling your work and understanding how it's all coming together and the story behind it. So really take time to appreciate this gift that we have. Sometimes it's easier to talk about the story than it is to type it out. So as you're finishing your piece, now is a really good time to also reiterate that story of the piece, that story of the design and what inspired you. Coming back to it at a later date is obviously just as good to do, but once you're still in the moment, once you're feeling everything about this work and the work that you put into it, now is a really good time just to record either a voice memo on your phone or into your computer, however it is, record or write down a few notes of the story behind the piece, what inspired you, how it was made, where it's all come from. Because this will serve you really well later on when you're coming to market your piece of work as well, and when you're wanting to talk about it more with a view to selling it. The final step in finishing the production of your piece is making sure that it's ready for marketing, ready to be photographed and marketed and talked about to sell. So this could be cleaning up, making sure the polish is finished, cleaning any bits and bobs off it, the framing, all of that side of thing. Whatever it is that's going to make it ready to be photographed, make sure that that is done at this stage as well. Because then when you set time aside for photographing your work, you know that you have the piece ready to go to take those images. You're not going to be trying to fix anything last minute. So I hope this has been useful. I hope it's given you some thoughts about what it means to finish your work and knowing when to stop. I think that's one of the hardest things, is knowing when to stop creating, when to stop making something. And knowing that your work is telling a story. Your designs that you've brought to life tell the story which is going to be passed down to the owner and the person that ultimately buys your work. And so it's really important to be able to finish it in a way that you are satisfied with, and that in your gut and in your heart you know is good and is finished. So if you're coming to this and you haven't checked out the previous 2 videos in the design challenge, you're thinking, okay, there's something I've missed here, what's going on? Then do go ahead and watch those here. And don't forget to join me in the next and final video in this design challenge series, where I'll be talking a little bit more about the business side of a handmade business. And in particular, we're going to be looking at photographing your work ready to market. But that's it for this video. Take care, and I'll speak to you in the next.